live to Said Mohammed Marandi, professor at Tehran University, for more on this. Welcome to the program, sir. Have you ever heard of this new supposedly pro-Iranian group, HAYI? And what do you think about this? The full name is Harakat Ashab al-Yamin al-Islamiyah.
No, I don't think anyone has heard about it because it is non-existent, at least not for ordinary people. Maybe in the MOSSAD, people know of the group because they're the ones who created it, I'm sure. It's clear that this is a false flag operation. And the very fact that the statement is issued in such a way shows that they couldn't even hide their own identity as Israelis. But this, I think, it goes back to something much bigger. And that is that there is, in my opinion, a serious danger that we will see a false flag operation carried out in the West, a major one, something horrific. It is quite possible because the United States and the Israeli regime are failing in this war. And earlier, if you recall, a couple of weeks, we saw these claims, I think, made by ABC News about drone attacks in California. And they said, I don't know, 4 drones were missing at some base in the United States. All of these, in my opinion, indicate an attempt to prepare the ground for some sort of false flag operation. And people should be on the alert for that, because if it is carried out, it will be used to mobilize public opinion to engage in further war, to support the war, because right now the public is not buying the lies that are being put out by Trump.
And regarding this coverage of that alleged arson attack in London, is it possible, and I know probably that that's not the case, but is there a slight possibility, do you think, that Israeli-aligned media outlets could be pushing a certain narrative against Iran?
Oh, definitely. I think that their own people carried it out, and they are pushing this narrative to make the West support the Israeli regime. But that era is gone. People have woken up to the reality of what the regime stands for, what Zionism stands for. They saw it in Gaza. They see the slaughter every day of children in Palestine, the bombing of ambulances. They're bombing ambulances in Iran. They're bombing ambulances in Lebanon every day, literally, and murdering paramedics. And they, of course, have a long history of bombing all the ambulances in Gaza. We all recall how they went and slaughtered 50.
And this group's channel in social media has an odd description to it, too, with a link to contact the administrator in Hebrew as well. What for, do you think? Why would a pro-Iranian group be interested in cooperating with the Israelis?
Nothing of this story makes any sense. And again, I think it all goes to it all is linked to the fact that the Zionists are desperate. And Hasbara, the Zionist propaganda, really is not effective anymore. And they become much less professional, much less desperate. We used to, as young people, always hear how good they are at propaganda. But nowadays, not only are people awaking to the reality of the genocidal acts in Lebanon and in Gaza, and the Israeli regime in the U.S. and their regional allies bringing ISIS and Al-Qaeda to power in Syria and waging war against Iran. People have woken up to all that. But also the propaganda is much less professional. It seems very clear that it's not necessarily Mossad, but it's some Zionist organization carried out this silly attack. And then some media outlet tried to pin the blame on Iran, a media outlet affiliated to them as well. They've been doing this in Australia. They've been doing this in other cities too. And these could be a single organization. It could be different organizations. They stage attacks, or they vandalize synagogues themselves, or they vandalize graveyards and blame it on Iran or Muslims or the Palestinians or supporters of the axis of resistance. And then it usually turns out that it was from the Zionist community itself. And when that happens, suddenly the media goes quiet, and they walk away.
And what do you make of the fact that these yeshiva news got the footage so quickly? Can there be any concerns about access to confidential state information?
Oh, absolutely. But right now, that era actually in the West is gone, where the rule of law, at least for themselves, I mean, for the rest of the world, there never was the rule of law. We saw that in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in Libya, in Venezuela, and elsewhere. But now in the West, the rule of law really doesn't make it doesn't exist anymore, at least to the degree in which they try to present it as existing in the past. And I have my own example. I have been on Twitter. There is a verified account that is is doing fundraising for $1 million to kidnap me, and Twitter refuses to remove the post. And so they are, and basically what they want to do is kidnap me and probably torture and kill me. But Twitter won't remove it because they support this sort of thing. So the rule and law in the West is really dead.
Well, unfortunately, we'll have to end it here, but I do wish you the best and the best of health because of these campaigns, apparently, against you, sir. Said Mohammed Marandi, a professor at the University of Tehran. It's always a pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you.